Are you serious? I'm sorry.
I'm gonna order Uber.
Emma, what the? Why are you acting like you've never done anything bad?
There is something quietly terrifying about being fully known. Romance often begins with projection. Two people seeing the best possible version of each other, then choosing to believe that version is the truth. The drama takes that fragile fantasy and places it under the fluorescent pressure of commitment.
Emma, I'm being serious, it's not funny.
No, I agree with you. This is not funny at all.
The film follows Emma Harwood and Charlie Thompson, an engaged couple whose wedding week begins to unravel after an unexpected turn tests the image they have built of their relationship. On the surface, the drama carries the shape of a romantic comedy. The couple, the wedding, the social chaos, the nervous anticipation of a life about to begin. But underneath that familiar structure is something more uncomfortable. This is not simply a story about whether two people should get married. It is about what love can survive once the performance of love is interrupted. It asks what happens when intimacy stops being charming and becomes frighteningly honest. The genius of the film's title is that it sounds casual, almost dismissive.
Do you know what it is?
The drama is what people call emotional inconvenience. It is what friends roll their eyes at, what couples pretend they are above, what families gossip about when no one is listening. But here, drama becomes the central force of revelation. It is not just conflict, it is exposure. It is the moment when everyone's carefully managed version of themselves begins to crack.
So you're saying Charlie is your first
love? Yeah.
Weddings are often filmed as rituals of certainty. Two people walk toward each other, surrounded by flowers, family, vows, and music, as if love has finally become official enough to be safe. The drama understands something darker. Weddings are not only celebrations, but performances. They require coordination, costumes, rehearsals, guest lists, seating charts, speeches, and smiles. Everyone is assigned a role. Everyone is expected to behave. That makes the wedding week the perfect setting for emotional collapse. Emma and Charlie are not simply preparing for marriage. They are preparing to be seen as a married couple. Their relationship is about to become public, documented, photographed, and socially confirmed. The private life they have built together is being transformed into an event for other people to witness. This is where the film finds its tension. It turns romance into choreography. Every gesture has an audience. Every decision becomes symbolic. Every silence feels louder because it occurs under the pressure of a ceremony. The closer Emma and Charlie get to the wedding, the less room they have for uncertainty. Love, which should feel intimate and alive, begins to feel like a deadline. Visually and tonally, the film seems to understand the absurdity of trying to make chaos look elegant. There is comedy in watching people maintain decorum while their inner lives are falling apart. But the humor is not light or comforting. It has teeth. It comes from the gap between what people say and what they mean, between the polished surface of romance and the strange, messy reality underneath. In that sense, the drama is less interested in mocking love than in questioning the rituals we build around it. A wedding is supposed to mark the beginning of trust, but the film asks whether trust can truly begin when people are still performing versions of themselves. The ceremony becomes a mirror, reflecting not just the couple's devotion, but their fears, evasions, and unresolved truths.
All right, let's try it. Let's do a little warm-up. Up on our feet.
At the center of the film is the relationship between Emma Harwood and Charlie Thompson, a couple whose bond is tested not by a lack of love, but by the instability of perception. The most devastating thing that can happen in a relationship is not always betrayal in the obvious sense. Sometimes it is the realization that the person beside you contains a life you cannot fully access. That is the emotional engine of the drama. Emma and Charlie are forced to confront the difference between loving someone and understanding them. The film recognizes that intimacy is never complete. No matter how close two people become, there remains a private territory inside each person that cannot be fully entered. Romance often asks us to accept that mystery as beautiful. This film asks what happens when that mystery becomes disturbing. Charlie's crisis is not simply about Emma. It is about his own need for coherence. Like many people in love, he has built an internal story about who Emma is, who he is with her, and what their relationship means. When that story is disrupted, he is forced to confront how much love depends on narration. We do not just love people, we love the meaning we have given them. Emma, meanwhile, becomes more than a romantic partner under scrutiny. She becomes a person resisting the violence of being reduced to one revelation, one moment, one interpretation. The film's darker comedy comes from how quickly people turn complicated human beings into manageable labels. Once a certain idea enters the room, everyone begins rearranging themselves around it. Concern becomes judgment. Honesty becomes evidence. Love becomes a courtroom. This is where the film becomes most uncomfortable and most compelling. It doesn't treat love as a magical force that automatically absolves everything. But it also questions the cruelty of a world that wants people to be perfectly legible before they are deemed worthy of compassion. Emma and Charlie's relationship becomes a battleground between memory and identity. Are we the worst thing someone learns about us? Or are we the totality of everything we have tried to become? The romance in the drama is powerful because it is not idealized. It is nervous, reactive, wounded, and painfully human. It understands that love is often less about grand declarations, and more about whether we can sit with discomfort without immediately turning away.
I come here sometimes too, and I feel like I've seen you here before.
Calling this film a black comedy matters because its humor does not soften the darkness, it sharpens it. The film appears to operate in that uncomfortable space where laughter becomes a reflex. Not because something is harmless, but because it is too socially unbearable to process directly. This kind of comedy exposes the absurd moral theatre of modern relationships. People want honesty, but only the kind that confirms what they already hoped was true. They want vulnerability, but preferably in a form that is attractive, digestible, and emotionally convenient. They want their partners to have depth, but not depths that disturb the fantasy. The film's social world seems designed around reaction. People respond, interpret, whisper, advise, condemn, defend, and spiral. In doing so, they reveal themselves as much as they reveal anything about Emma and Charlie. The question becomes contagious. What does someone's reaction to another person's truth say about them? That is where the drama finds its most cutting insight. Moral judgment is often framed as clarity, but it can also be a form of self-protection. To judge quickly is to avoid sitting in uncertainty. It allows people to feel clean, decisive, and separate from the mess. But love does not usually happen in clean emotional conditions. Love asks people to remain present inside ambiguity, even when ambiguity feels humiliating. The comedy also comes from the sheer theatricality of crisis. Everyone becomes slightly ridiculous when they try to appear composed during an emotional disaster. The film seems to understand that human beings rarely fall apart beautifully. They say the wrong thing. They over-explain. They become dramatic while accusing others of being dramatic. They search for moral high ground and trip over their own insecurity on the way there. Yet, beneath the satire is something deeply sad. The film recognizes how easily intimacy can become public property. Once a relationship enters crisis, everyone feels entitled to an opinion. Friends, family, co-workers, guests, they all become spectators. The private wound becomes a social event. And in a story already framed around a wedding, that idea becomes even more painful. The couple's love is tested not only by what happens between them, but also by the noise around them. The drama works because it understands that romance is not destroyed only by secrets, but by the stories people tell after secrets emerge. It is a film about love under pressure, identity under judgment, and commitment stripped of its decorative language. Beneath the wedding week chaos is a much quieter question. Can two people still choose each other after the fantasy has been interrupted? Emma Harwood and Charlie Thompson are compelling not because they represent a perfect couple, but because they reveal how fragile perfection always was. Their relationship becomes a lens for examining the uncomfortable truth that to love someone is to accept that they will never be fully knowable. There will always be hidden rooms, past selves, private wounds, and contradictions that resist easy explanation. What makes the drama linger is not simply its darkness or its comedy, but the way it turns romance into a test of imagination. Can we imagine the person we love beyond our disappointment? Can we hold complexity without rushing to simplify it? Can forgiveness exist without denial? Can judgment and tenderness occupy the same room? By the end, the film's title feels less like a joke and more like a confession. The drama is not an interruption of life. It is life revealing itself without the flattering lighting. It is what happens when love stops being a performance and becomes something far more difficult. A choice made in full awareness of another person's humanity. Thank you for taking a moment to join me in this film. If this kind of deep dive resonates with you, tap the like button, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss the next essay. Please let me know in the comments which film you'd like me to explore next. Until then, keep watching closely.